This is Moonstalker at that place for walkthroughs with Tinuvial of Dragon Age Origins.
There you are. Wanted to talk to you.
What about?
You and I, you know how sometimes you spend time with people and things.
Take your time. What is it?
I was thinking, I do know some people out here on the surface. A person, actually. A girl I knew in Orzammar. Before I left, obviously.
Who is she?
Her name's Felsi. She and I were friends after Bronca left for the deep roads. I'm sure she's forgiven me by now. Thought maybe I'd track her down, see how she's been living.
Do you know how to find her?
I tried to look her up the last time we were at Lake Calenhad. She wasn't at work at the inn. At home with her sick mother, they said. I figured it was just the ancestors telling me something. But I keep thinking about her.
We could go back.
Well, and a good friend you are, Warden. I'll think about you if we ever... no, actually, that would be gross. No, what was it you wanted to say?
Actually, never mind.
Aye, all right then.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
There she is. I'm gonna go talk to her. Look, you gotta back me up here. Got it?
What do you mean back you up?
Just follow my lead, you know?
Let me talk to her first. She might be married, you know.
Hadn't thought of that. Find out how much she misses old Ogren or who I have to kill, and then I'll go sweep her off her feet. That's me, Mr. Charm.
Welcome back to the Spoiled Princess. How may I serve you today?
I'd like a drink.
Of course. What would you like?
What can I get for you? And don't say mead. We ran out of that a week ago. And don't say rum, either. Ran out the day before yesterday. And don't say brandy.
When did you run out of brandy?
Oh, we haven't yet. It's just terrible. We got it from a shady Orlesian trader, and I think it might really be turpentine.
Felsi! I need tables clean, girl!
I've got a customer.
Does your husband work in the tavern too?
Husband? You haven't been in town long, have you? You'd think this whole town was a chantry cloister for all the real men you find here.
Then why stay? You could do better in Denerim.
The dwarves in Denerim are as bad as the ones back in Orzammar. They're all alliances and rank and money, always worried about their reputations. You know how boring that is? I'd rather go drinking with a deep stalker than any of the men in Denerim.
Felsi! The tables, girl! They ain't cleaning themselves!
I told you, I've got a customer!
I'll let you get back to work.
Oh, you're too kind. Really.
You're welcome.
Well, what does she say?
She thinks the surface dwarf men are all boring.
Well, of course. They're merchants, maybe craftsmen. None of them compare to a real warrior.
Go get her.
Just be ready to pry her off when she throws herself at me. We don't want to make a scene here. Well, don't pry her off me too soon. I mean, a little scene's all right. Are you sure you're not a baker? 'Cause you got a sodding nice set of buns.
Ogren, is that you?
Yeah, in the flesh, baby.
What are you doing here?
Just trying to kick back with a pint. Fighting Darkspawn's a lot of sodding work, you know?
You're fighting Darkspawn?
This man took on an army of golems almost single-handedly.
It was a bit of pain, but it was a personal favor for the King of Orzammar, you understand?
The whole surface to choose from, and you just happened to come to my tavern?
Well,
Whisper to Ogren. Tell her it's fate. It's fate.
what? Oh, right. It's fate, Felsi. What can I say?
Fate? The ancestors must have a sense of humor then.
You just figured that out now? You've seen what passes for dwarves up here. You don't think that's a joke?
I'll give you that.
Whisper to Ogren. Tell her you've been thinking of her.
I've been thinking about you, Felsi.
What do you want, Ogren?
Nothing. Just thought I'd see how you were doing is all. Well, maybe that and grease up the Bronto, if you know what I mean.
Well, you've seen me. You'll have to go back to Orzammar for the Bronto.
Admit it, Ogren's much more fun than the men around here.
If by fun you mean more likely to light farts on fire, yes.
Oh, well, it's been fun, Felsi, but I better go.
Wait, you're leaving? You just got here. I haven't called you a shaft rat yet.
Well, you can't keep the archdemon waiting. You hurt its feelings, it might just turn the whole blight around and go home. Nobody wants that.
Well, you don't need to fight it right now, do you? I mean, you could have a pint first. You could call me a surly Bronto. I could tell you that you smell like nut droppings.
I'll tell you what, I got some things I gotta do, but I'll come back for that pint when things are settled, you frigid deep stalker.
Fine, but you better not keep me waiting, you worthless copper-plated swordcast.
Wouldn't dream of it. I still got it.
So what are you leaving for? Go get her.
Don't you know anything about women? You gotta make 'em wait. Play hard to get. Might as well rest up while I can. You ready to go?
Sure, let's go.
Aye, all right then.
Ah.
I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Time for the juicy gossip, I take it.
I've got this nefarious plan to go around to each of them and secretly tell them all the nasty things you said. That way they'll mutiny and I shall become the group leader.
Ah, very cute. Just so you know, I'm laughing at you, not with you.
Ouch, now I'm wounded. Look at me, bleeding all over the place. You're just not very nice, are you? Seriously, though, I'm only curious. I've had enough time to form my own opinions, and I just want to see if yours are any different.
Why do you care what I think?
Why wouldn't I? Of course I care what you think. Aren't we friends?
Ask then, if you must.
How about Ogren? You must have an opinion on the smell, at the very least.
I actually rather like him.
I would too if he could stick to the ribald stories and not so much with the belching and projectile vomiting. How he lifts his sword is a bit of a mystery. Though I suppose the point is that he does lift it. And so long as we can point him in the right direction, he charges too. He has gusto, I'll give him that. Zevran, the elf. You can't trust him, can you? Do you believe his so-called vow?
No, not really.
Then why bring him along? Don't you think he might try to kill you again? Maybe he's just biding his time.
I'm willing to give him a chance.
Well, if you are, then maybe I should too. But that doesn't mean I won't keep an eye on him. He's just too shifty. What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big.
I agree, the Kunari are unsettling.
Yet he doesn't seem quite so bad as the Chantry tells us. According to them, his philosophy is vile and evil. Yet he seems so reasonable. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
Yeah, it does bother me a little.
Yet he seems otherwise honorable and even wise. I don't get it. What about Liliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision?
What, you don't believe in religious visions and miracles?
Even the Chantry believes that most claims of visions and such are usually people's minds playing tricks on them. Wishful thinking at best. I'm not sure what I think.
It could be true. Who's to say it isn't?
Maybe you're right. It's not as if she could have known that we needed help so desperately after all. Yet, there she was. I noticed that you and her have become close. Am I right? The rest of us have talked about it.
You talk about us.
You think we have better things to do than gossip about you? You give us far too much credit. Is it true or not?
Yes, we have a connection.
I thought so. Well, I hope you know what you're doing. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
I don't. This is good for her.
Good for you, maybe. Her? I'm not so sure about. Morrigan. Do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
You're probably right.
And you're just going to let her follow us around? A Maleficar and Maker knows what else?
I don't have to like her. She's useful.
That's the most sensible thing I've heard out of you yet. Just remember that she's dangerous too, and evil, and mean. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
Oh, marvelous.
Shale of House Kadash. Is that who I once was? I find this difficult to believe.
You think the name's a coincidence?
If I was this Shale of House Kadash, as Carradine said, there must be some evidence of my existence remaining. I must find it.
Perhaps there are records in Orzammar.
There is another way. What Carradine said, it has allowed me to remember one thing. I believe I know where Kadash Taig is.
We can go there if you like.
Its offer is appreciated. I will mark the location on its map. If we can journey there soon, I am most curious as to what we will find. Yes.
Indeed.
Yes. So, Shale, when you were standing there all that time, did you sleep?
I have no need to sleep. My body does not tire or do other flesh-related functions.
But don't you get bored? Wouldn't you want to dream at least?
I do not dream. This is what it does when it sleeps. It paws its nose and mumbles incoherently.
Yes, of course. I thought we all... Huh. You watch me?
I watch all closely when they are still at night. There is little else to do.
For hours and hours?
I count the breaths. It helps to overcome the overwhelming urge to crush their faces while they sleep.
Well, I won't be doing much of that anymore.
And I'm off.
Kadash Tig.
This is where you're from?
Perhaps. It may also be where I was found. These ruins are always overrun by vermin. There may be something noteworthy further in, however. Was this the home once? Did I live here?
If you insist. Now this should be fun. Another point for me. I am your dad.
I think we'll work well together.
Yes. And I'm off. Going. Stop me. Fight. Yes. Wipe them out. Yes.
Huh.
Blood Gorge Amulet. Ooh, chest.
I see nothing. Whatever was once here.
Had to be crushed.
Now we can Oh, right.
Yes.
Yes. Trap. So simple to see, really. Huh.